We've been hearing about an unnamed mendicant, a yogi, whose attention was so strongly developed that whatever thought his attention directed itself to became reality. In a way, this is no different from anybody else, is it? Whatever our attention is directed to, that is our reality. Whether it's something out there in the so-called physical world, or whether it's some mental or emotional scenario, something within the imagination. So Rama's asked if this mendicant actually exists somewhere, and Vasishta continued, "O king, O Rama, with the help of my eye of wisdom, I searched for the mendicant. I entered into deep meditation, wishing to see that mendicant. I searched for him in this universe, but could not find him. How does one's imagination appear outside also, as if real?" And this is the case with yogis, with shamans. A while back we heard about Uddalaka, who gave up sleeping and then saw his dreams enacted in the physical reality. So it's not something which is commonly experienced, but there's plenty of evidence to suggest that there are people who see things from their imagination. They see them as more real than what most of us perceive with our senses. So Vasishta's obviously also got this ability. He can enter into his imagination, and his imagination has its own reality. And this is clearly where he's looking for this mendicant. He's looking for him in his imagination. And Vasishta's imagination is respected by the listeners in the court. Then I proceeded north to the land of the Jinas. On top of an anthill there exists a vihara, inhabited by people. And the translator in parentheses suggests that the vihara is a shrine, or the city of Bihar. The word for Bihar and vihara is the same really. Bihar is a great city in northern India. And a vihara is a dwelling of Buddhist monks. So it seems that Bihar must have been a Buddhist centre at one time. There in his own cottage was a mendicant, a bhikshu, known as Dirghadrsha, whose head was yellow in colour. He was in deep meditation. Even his attendants did not enter his cottage, afraid to disturb his meditation. It was the 21st day of such meditation. It was destined to be his last day. So he's obviously undergoing some kind of particular practice here, a 21-day practice. Though from one point of view he had been in meditation for only 21 days, from another point of view thousands of years had passed. For such was the notion that arose in his mind. I knew that such a mendicant had lived in another epoch, and even in this epoch he is the second such mendicant. However, other than these two, I could not see a third mendicant. With all the wits at my disposal and all the faculties I could command, I entered into the very heart of this creation, looking for the third mendicant. So it seems that this mendicant isn't the one he was looking for. At last I found him, but he was not in this universe. He was in another universe, which, however, was almost exactly like this universe, though created by another Brahma. Even so have there been, and there will be in the future, countless beings. In this very assembly there are sages and holy Brahmanas, who will thus entertain notions of other beings, who will thereupon appear to be. Such is the nature of Maya. So this assembly is the one that Vasishta is addressing in answer to questions from Rama. So there were great sages present who could also externalize their imagination. Some of these beings will be of nature similar to the one that imagines them. Others will be quite dissimilar. And this is what we found in previous stories where individuals have found themselves living other lives completely, like the King Lavana, who found himself as a tribesman, and even this mendicant who found himself as a tribesman and as a deer and as a nymph. There's not really any connection between the two. One just follows on after the other. Others will be quite dissimilar, yet others will partly resemble them. This is the great Maya, which baffles even great men. But it does not exist, nor does it function here. For it is only delusion that causes all these to appear and disappear. Else, where is a short period of 21 days, and where is a whole epoch? You can live a whole life in a fraction of a second. It is frightening even to think of the play of the mind. It sweeps us up in it. All this is but appearance which unfolds like the lotus in the morning and reveals diversity like a full-blown lotus. The lotus folds up at night, and then in the morning you get all the petals. So it's quite a nice simile. All this arises in the infinite consciousness which is pure, yet the appearance appears to be tainted by impurity. Each thing appears as if fragmented, and at the end of that fragmented existence it undergoes other strange fragmentation. All this is relatively real, not totally unreal. All of them manifest in the all. The cause is in the cause. So we normally talk about the one, but here we're talking about the all. We're also often told that everything is illusion or delusion. We must be careful with this kind of talk, because there's clearly something going on. Reality is in play, so we should not dismiss it all as illusion or delusion. How we relate to it is delusional, but there's still something going on. And the cause is in the cause, so we have to look into it. We have to look into it if we want to find out what's really going on. We have to look into our delusional tendencies. We need to practice self-enquiry.